It was the longest day. The air was still and I was too. Through the trees the dappled moon shone through, all framed in branches, nestling by a painted wall, befriended by a punctured ball. The Arctic's rumbling on down, a car park on the edge of town. What were the chances?
In some of our commissions, we wanted to draw from different kinds of music, and we've always had an absolute horror of, you know, that painting thing where if you add all the colours together you simply get brown, you get the most miserable sludge. And it is as far from that as you could possibly imagine. It's very striking. You hear the very distinctive folk and traditional textures and colours and approach to line and to counterpoint of Lau. You get the extraordinary incandescent creativity of Brian Irvine, like whom there really isn't another composer. You know, and you can hear there's a classical orchestra in there. The classical orchestra doesn't pretend to be a rock band or folk group, it's a classical orchestra. And like the best paintings, you hear all the colours and you can distinguish them and you can see how they join up.
Your instruction to us were write lines that have no time signature and don't repeat and are very long and hard to remember. And in essence, you managed to dismantle everything about traditional music, which is based on dance and repetitive rhythm in one instruction.
The title Strange Attractors was about two different kind of forces kind of joining, but not really trying to merge.
It does seem like genuine collaboration. Like it seems like, if you'd written some tunes and sent them to us and we'd learned them, that wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
If we had contributed an oboe part, then that probably wouldn't have worked well either.
They're really exciting things to do because they have a sense of uniqueness. However good a symphony is, if you commission a composer to write a symphony, you sort of know what you're going to get. But if you commission a composer and, in the case of Lau, a group of extraordinary musicians, to create a project that draws from several different parents, if I can put it like that, you don't know what you're going to get. And what you do know is it's going to be something exciting.
I mean, I've just got it written out, but without kind of instinctively, I would go. So it's actually quite gentle. I mean, you can still play it loud, but I think what I was noticing was it was kind of been accented a little bit too much.
Yeah, we were doing too much. Well, first of all, we were reading it, you know, with bowing, so just like that.
Which
So
is
we
the
were
way it's
doing that.
written out, but I think slowing out.
So
of
we're
it.
doing. Oh, how you do it? But I don't know how you do it.
Throughout a lot of my life, pre-Lau certainly, I didn't really think about musical process at all very much. Just a start point and an end point with no music at the start and some music at the end. Brian's suggestion that we sort of extend melodic composition a long way beyond where we would normally stop was a very interesting and useful process.
I can only describe it as a bit like this. It's like you have all these little blocks of tunes and sounds. You just take each block and you kind of go a wee bit with it and then stretch it a wee bit and then set it aside and then do the same on our own. Turn it upside down, turn it backwards, stretch it, put some notes on it, harmonise it, put it aside. Do this for lots of blocks, and then you got those 10 blocks, and you got these other blocks. So then you take those blocks and you bring them back in and playing, and you join a couple together and you stretch them and you sit down. So after a process of doing that, you got like a zillion blocks.
The time when the idea was, an orchestral backs and folk musicians playing a nice tune, that has really gone. And now composers and folk musicians are looking for something more interesting to come out of the collaboration.
Four.
So you slow that in. And you do, sorry, you do like a...
Yeah.
Have you got a pencil, anyone? This is all you know. I have to write it in because we have to read it.
Yeah. If we write it in,
We'll do it.
we did.
And will that sound the way you want it?
That's
Because
perfect.
I think it would be lovely. We could just quickly write it in.
Yeah.
It would only mean that, because at the moment the violas think that we're all
It's
saying
all-
it's short,
yes, I know,
so we're going
I know, I know,
dum.
I know.
But we'd have to, I think, play more like this.
Because it's sort of split between two camps at the minute, and I think if we just maybe just decide right.
That would be great.
Well, then we would be
have we got a pencil?
strange attractors. And we'll be, then we'll be going,
One of the things we all said was, there's been a lot of great
Yeah.
trad stuff with classical stuff,
Yeah.
but what we don't want to do is an orchestra backing a trad band.
No.
And what you came then with was, we don't need to play at the same tempo all the time, and which is quite a radical thing for us, because we've spent 5 years trying desperately to play in the same tempo as each other.
The key thing in everything is sort of harmonic world. So if you have any two tunes, and one's playing the radio and it's in D major, and another one's playing the radio and it's in D major, you put them both together and it'll work. So, and actually when they're independently linked rhythmically, what happens is you get these sort of independent motors happening. So you get this really extraordinary complex series of rhythms, because things passing out of each other, and to try and write something out is crazy.
It was almost like you could see a really complicated machine working. And I think it's a physically exciting piece for audience. It's sort of intellectual excitement about being able to see all these different sorts of musical processes going on and hearing all their different colours and shapes and textures.
Singing with an orchestra, it's, if you play guitar or something like that, you get quite introspective. You get into all these little voicings of chords. There's 3 notes in that chord, and the next one, and pretty much all in 3 or 4 notes, because that's what you have available. Suddenly find yourself in a situation where there are maybe 40 people playing, maybe twice that number of instances of the various notes in the chord. It's like magic. Difficult to describe. Incredible feeling.
Any promoter who is interested in not just doing things as they always have been done, particularly in classical music, should be interested in this piece.
It's just like a dream.
Yeah, it is quite, these two overlapping things.
Yeah.
It is quite trippy.
It is. Yeah, it is quite trippy. Yeah. I'm into it.
I'm into it as well. That's lucky, isn't it, at this point in the process?
I think it's a special piece, it's a special project, and I think it's in the special, rather highly charged, rather theatrical feel that good festivals have, where this piece feels as if it's really got its right home.
And actually that's what we got in anyway. So this is what we got.
Yeah.
3, 4.
And slowing out of that.
Yeah.